So I'm Ed Polish. This is a room in my house. It's stuff I've been collecting for many years, but it's not really my collection. It's your collection. It's everybody's collection. It's kind of pop culture. It's all media related. It's all from the second half of the 20th century, from 1950 to the year 2000. It's all, which is pretty much within my lifetime. The year 2000 came about, and it was a new century, so I decided that this is really all about the 20th century, so that's important to know. And there's not one single thing here that isn't connected to something in media. There's no generic characters. When you look at this, it's not just a bird, it's Tweety Bird. It's a Warner Brothers cartoon, and it has many, many associations beyond just a plastic toy. Whereas I do have a few generic. This isn't anybody. This is just a stupid toy, and you squeeze him, his eyes go around, and this is a rarity. It's just a goofy little something. But everything else, Mr. Peanut is not just a hunk of plastic. It's not just a guy dressed as a top hat. It's Planter's Peanut. So that's the criteria. It's advertising, movies, comic books, cartoons, movies, politics, Star Wars, television. Here's the banned in America Bart Simpson's bubble bath because he's naked. You ever see this one? And any questions?
Ed, do you have any particular favorite toys or areas of collecting?
People commonly ask me if I have a common or a favorite toy, and to me that's not a fair question. I don't have any favorites. It's just the overall gestalt of the whole collection. One thing by itself is interesting, but it's everything together that makes it fascinating. It's kind of like I'm a big movie fan, and somebody says, well, what's your favorite movie? I say, forget it, I'm not going to answer that because it's just, there's too many. So, one day I could like Mr. Natural, another day it would be the Dr. Seuss characters, or here's General Colin Powell. So it's all of it. It's the whole thing. These are all bubble baths here. Every single one of them holds or half-hold bubble baths, and they're all, I would say there are some ones I like more than others, such as the Monsters, the Beatles. They only did Paul and Ringo, which they considered the two cuter ones, I guess. And but then again, the having all the others is great too. So,
what would you consider your rarest things, the hardest to find or most unique?
Rarity isn't important. It's like something that could be the most common thing in the world, like Planter's Peanut. Just the way it looks, just because who it is, would be just as significant to me as something that was incredibly rare, just because it's more about the aesthetics of it than the rarity, and that's kind of important to me too. I stopped, actually another significant thing is I stopped collecting about the time that eBay and the internet became prevalent. None of this was bought on eBay. None of it was bought online. It was all bought from stores, or more likely garage sales, flea markets, whatever. And it was built, the fun was in the search, If it was used and played with, that was better for me than if it was something I bought in the store. The whole concept of mint in the box that you can never remove from the box is not appealing to me. Value, I'm aware of value, but it's not important. I'm not a dealer, and it's purely, you know, it's the joy of it more than value.
So since aesthetics are the most important thing, can you point out some of the most uniquely aesthetic things that you like our audience to be aware of?
Well, the Dr. Seuss things. I did grow up on Dr. Seuss, and I think the Dr. Seuss pieces are beautifully rendered, and his artwork is, you know, incredibly nice. The Nightmare Before Christmas toys are beautifully done, and but then there's you know, all the bubble bath containers are beautiful. The advertising stuff is beautiful to me because it's you know, the kind of the sickest part of pop culture, to get somebody to buy Ritalin drugs for their kid, and having a little guy. This is Mr. Ritalin, and this was given to doctors to put on their desk. So when parents would come in for consultations, the doctor would say, "Oh, your child needs Ritalin." So
That is a little twisted.
this is definitely one of the top twisted on many levels. Aesthetically, it's beautiful too. So.